Alright, so I did grow up in Houston, Texas, and if you're not familiar with Houston, an optimistic description of it is a disgustingly humid swamp town. A wasteland of gravy-based restaurants and oil tycoons. Recently, Hurricane Harvey was last year, and people were really, really nice to me. They came up to me, and they were like, hey, is everything okay? The pictures are devastating, it looks horrific. That was an improvement on our previous reputation. Because at least we had a reason now to look like a post-apocalyptic cesspool. Houston has a few things that's well known for. We got barbecue, Tex-Mex, and oil and gas. So in summary, that's food and a way to get to the food. Oh, yes. That would explain the look that so many of our people have been carrying around for so long. Houston's people, not unlike its infrastructure, ever expanding with no long-term plan for sustainability. Houston also has the highest rate per capita of portly prospectors with their thumbs placed beneath their suspenders, rubbing up and down and saying, y'all ain't from around here, is ya? That's just a fun fact. But yeah, so Houston, you might be thinking though, hey, don't be so mean to Houston. Houston has NASA, and that's a great place. And I agree, NASA is an impressive institution full of brilliant minds, but I want you to think about the purpose of NASA. NASA is an institution expressly designed to build transportation that is specifically made to get you as far away from Houston as possible. That is how you spark innovation. Just put people in a horrific place that they can't leave until they beat the Soviets. That'll inspire stuff. And by the way, Houston, that's almost the best I could have done growing up in Texas. Think about how bad that is. We have a Cleveland, all right? And if we think about the real Cleveland, it is, falling apart, represents an America that really never was and certainly never will be again. Made fun of a lot. There's a whole song about how bad it is, to my recollection. But imagine being jealous of that Cleveland. And that's what it's like to be in Cleveland, Texas. So despite the location of my upbringing, though, I do feel like I've had a pretty good life because I grew up in a middle-class family. Anybody here grow up in a middle-class family? Keep in mind, this audience is full of mostly college students at private schools, so these are people who believe that they grew up in a middle-class family. And that's kind of something I want to talk about now, which is suburban liberal white people in particular. We adore, for whatever reason, pretending or believing that we are one level socioeconomic status lower than we actually are. I don't know why we do it, but it is our national pastime. I'd be sitting around the dinner table in high school, and we'd be sitting around, my parents would say something like, hey, did you hear? Andrea got into Columbia University. Pricey. I'd be like, Mom, Columbia's like $33 more expensive than Fordham, total. So we're not the underdog here. But yeah, it's just, it's our national pastime. I don't really know why we do it, but I do feel a responsibility now. This is how you get suburban street cred, by the way, is by just imagining that you're not literally a millionaire as long as you don't incorporate assets. Good crowd for this, I think. Very much relatable, right? But yeah, so what I feel the need, nay, the duty to do here tonight is to outline for you what a suburban white person says they're worth versus what they're actually worth. By the way, this information comes at no additional charge. The line used to be this information is free, and then we had to do this at a space where you paid for your ticket so it wouldn't be accurate. Thank you guys, by the way. But in any case, so if you have a white person say something to you like, my family didn't have a lot of money growing up. That is key word for actually middle class, not poor, middle class. People who say, I didn't have a lot of money growing up, or OMG, I'm so broke right now, are the sort of people whose idea of hardship is having to go to a national park for their family vacation. Or having to go on a Carnival cruise instead of Royal Caribbean. Now, I don't want to discount that is a horrific experience because I have been there. But still, that is definitely not a poor person problem. So then, what about the actual poor white people? Where are they? Who are they? And I have a conspiracy theory on this, so please just follow along with me as I do it. I believe that the legitimately poor white people, we're not talking about Kraft mac and cheese for dinner poor, we're talking about Kraft mac and cheese for Christmas poor, okay? The actual, like, really poor white people are all still in Kentucky, all right? Stay with me! White privilege can get you really far in this world. That's really the theme of this whole show. But it can't get you out of Kentucky. Come on! Race can transcend class, but you need wheels on your truck to get there. So that's legitimately, that's like the fake poor white people, the secret poor white people. By the way, that's the Cletus factor. I've named that conspiracy theory. The Cletus factor. I submitted it for a summer research grant, and Father Grimes just smacked like a no on my refrigerator in the dead of night. Anyway. So then, if someone tells you, I'm middle class, as many of you have expressed this evening, I'm just going to wager a thought and say, hey, maybe you're actually upper middle class in comparison to some people. I would say people who believe that they are middle class often have never needed something and not gotten it, but they will still find a way to turn their privilege into hardship. So for example, they'll be like, hey man, my family had it rough growing up. We couldn't afford Netflix. We were an Amazon Prime Video family. All right, we scraped by. And I had to share a room, okay? You don't know what it was like. I had to share a room with my stuff. I don't know what this playroom is that you're talking about, but I had to live with the claustrophobia of sleeping in the same room where I played Xbox. And then, sometimes, I would open up the fridge and look inside, there'd be no food in there. And why is that? Because we hadn't restocked the second fridge yet. Now, this is another secret people don't know about suburban white people, and I'm just laying it all out on the ground right now. Suburban liberal white people, every single one of them has a second fridge somewhere in their home. Okay? Admit it! You know it to be true. It could be in the study. It could be in the den. It could be in the garage. But somewhere in every middle-class white household, there is a treasure trove of Diet Fanta and V8 waiting for you. So then, if a white person has the gall to tell you, my family had it pretty good growing up, they are Warren Buffett, all right? Sound the alarms. They own several Pacific Island nations, multiple media conglomerates. Listen, we're talking 3 fridges, okay? They're not about to mix their sodas and their seltzers. And still, when they get to the dinner table at the end of the day, they'll say something to the effect of, did you hear? Bill Gates is trying to cure malaria. Pricey.